In the Nipsey Hussle footage, I noticed that the EMS workers' response was very lackluster. I mean, they were so pretentious about the efforts to restart his heartbeat that even as he began to respond and his legs moved a bit, the guy took his legs and turned him over. So he couldn't really have a response. Because what he was really doing, he pretended to be looking for maybe other bullet wounds. But really, what was taking place, as Nipsey began to respond, he turned him over and prevented him from having like the process succeed, right? And as they were moving a stretcher, the dude was doing a one hand compression. He was pressing into his chest with one hand, almost like he was just doing it for the cameras. He wasn't actually applying the pressure and taking his time to see that it could succeed, right? So all of this led me to believe that even if the EMS arrived there right after the incident, they had no intentions of seeing him survive, you know? And so, making this comment about what took place, I also recognized that the shooter had multiple opportunities to revisit where Nipsey was laying, right? And so clearly this was a paid hit because he was intentionally making sure that he hit his target repeatedly, right? This was a paid hit, but speaking about the incident, this led me to make a commentary about black leadership and the way we regard our leaders. Because many instances our leaders are on the vanguard for our safety and for our development. But when it's time for us to protect them, we would rather do it on Instagram. We would rather give them their kudos on Instagram, click like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a subscribe, a follow, but we are not willing to stand in the gap and be present to assist with the initiatives, especially an initiative in which the guy was hiring felons, only felons, people with a criminal record. He was trying to just reverse the trend where felons are not being given a second opportunity in society. He's actually just hiring people who are just out of prison, giving them an opportunity to assimilate into society. you know. And so this was a great initiative. And when we see people doing things like that, it should be more publicized and it should be more supported. If we have local chapters of these black conscious organizations, where were they when this was taking place? Where this person was like open, he was in the open as a target. Where were our people? You know, I'm seeing reports where they said that his security detail was, off duty on that day. Somebody should be present to make sure that, knowing what he stands for or what he is embarking on, you know, people would have him as a target, um, and they would consider him the head of the local movement. So those kinds of individuals, we need to protect them, right? And we need to also stop instigating our brothers to prove themselves so much that they would put themselves in positions of danger just so that we can refer to them as being real, right? And I heard somebody else making a commentary about what we call a real person in our community. But the thing is, he was really doing something I could consider real, right? But you shouldn't have to put yourself in harm's way to prove yourself to your community. Our people, we need to be more open minded and allow our leaders to still protect themselves and consider their own longevity so that they can make more of a contribution. We don't have to make them feel like they need to do the put your life on the line challenge on a daily basis in order to prove something to us. So people, I just wanted to make this follow-up video. I'm sure that after I made that video about Cowboy, many individuals were able to see the inconsistencies in his story. Because on one hand, in one interview, he says that um, he and Nipsey spoke about rap music with Eric Holder. In another interview, he was saying Nipsey was signing autographs. His story just keeps changing. It's almost like he knows something that he just won't release to the public. But people, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below about all of these dynamics. One love.